We're entering the stage where it feels like a DJI release is coming down the tracks. There is nothing official from DJI themselves, and there have been no substantial leaks or any FCC filings, but the usual pre-launch chatter and build-up has started. It would appear we're heading towards a possible release of a DJI Mini 3. Today, we're going to send our open letter to DJI to let them know what the Geeksvana audience wants to see in the drone. First up, and I feel like we need to very quickly take a look at a picture posted by good old A2 one of the Twitter accounts renowned for leaks and rumours in terms of DJI releases. This picture of a DJI Mini 3 Pro box was posted on their account. They confirmed they had no confirmation it was real and would treat it as a joke. That is really what it is. You might find someone has cut and altered the real picture, but this is certainly not the final drone. If you look closely, the gimbal has no space to turn with some odd, seemingly redundant plastic sides, and the legs are the opposite way round to any other Mavic-shaped drone, which suggests the gimbal is on the back. If you opened up the legs, it looks like the front arms there, or the front arms as they would be in the way of the camera itself, and you would end up with the good old props in a shot. Also, the top legs are resting at different positions and heights, and opening the legs that fold out would be tough without any clear join to allow them to rotate. Clearly, the Photoshop done here was intentionally placed onto a weird, warped-looking box type situation with shiny reflections to hide the quick job someone has made of this render. But this kind of thing is starting to appear on those type of Twitter accounts, along with some of the other behind-the-scenes rumblings that happen before a DJI product launch cycle. It suggests a DJI Mini 3 really is coming in the next few months at most. You could also argue that A2 in posting a picture they see as a joke could also be a way of pointing us towards something real without getting in trouble for posting the real thing, such as a special edition of the RC Pro or the Mini 3 being released in a number of models from day one. But this kind of thing starting to appear on those type of Twitter accounts, along with the other behind-the-scenes rumblings that happen before a DJI product launch cycle, it does suggest a DJI Mini 3 really is coming in the next few months at most. You could also argue that A2 in posting a picture they see as a joke could also be a way of pointing us towards something real without getting in trouble for it, such as a special edition of the RC Pro or the Mini 3 being released in a number of models from day one. Who knows for now? Coming up, we will take a look at what our audience told us they want to see from a DJI Mini 3. But first, let me know in the comments below what it would take for you to purchase a DJI Mini 3. Will this be your first mini drone, or will you be upgrading from one of the existing 3 DJI Mini models? I'd be really interested to know. And as DJI tell us often, they are always watching social media for feedback. You never know who is listening to your opinion. So get commenting down below, on the side, wherever the YouTube comments appear on your device at the moment. Also, let me know if you agree with the voting from our audience coming up next. So over the last couple of weeks, we have been asking you in our community tab all about mini drones and what you want to see from the next DJI Mini 3. First up, and we wanted to see which drone is exciting the small drone audience right now, and asked our audience to vote on which small drone excites them the most. The results were interesting, with the future release, i.e. a DJI Mini 3, winning out with 47% of the 481 votes. In a close second was the ever-popular DJI Mini 2 with 38% of the vote, and the Autel Nano Plus coming in a somewhat distant third with 10% of the audience vote. These figures are interesting and show the Mini 2 is still clearly a fan favourite with such a reliable and trusted platform. Why wouldn't it be? The Mini 2 is a bestseller, and the sub 250 gram nature of the drone means it is popular both financially and in regulation terms around the world. There's always an appetite for new and better, so it wasn't too surprising to see a future release like the DJI Mini 3 do so well, taking nearly half the votes. It was a little surprising to see the Autel Nano Plus so low on the voting at just 10%, but perhaps you need to factor in how few people have actually had this drone, the issues with supply chain and confusing launch, as well as the fact the Mini 2 has been out for a good while and has built up the time with the audience. The Mini 2 is a bestseller, so it isn't surprising that the audience want to hear about the drone in their hand. Hopefully Autel will keep faith with the Nano series and develop it into something worthy of competing. But time will tell, and let's get back to our focus for today, which is the DJI Mini 3. Following up on this vote, we asked our audience what was the most important upgrade needed for the DJI Mini 3. We offered 3 suggestions here, and a bigger sensor came top with 43% of the audience looking for an upgrade to the camera. This makes sense. When you look at the Autel Nano Plus and the attempt to put a higher grade camera on that drone, we should hopefully see DJI step things up with this launch, and I feel fairly confident the Mini 3 will have an improved camera. Will it be the kind of upgrade to push the sub 250 gram drone into the next sphere of usefulness? I'm not sure. You will most probably find DJI need to keep things sensible to avoid the weight gain and keep away from their other products. Second on the vote, with a whopping 39% stating the most important upgrade for them would be the addition of obstacle avoidance to the Mini 3. I don't think this is based on people looking to avoid crashing their drone, but more because it will see tracking and follow me modes and that type of thing opened up. The recent popularity of the Litchi app opening up to the DJI Mini 2 users shows there is a huge desire to see automated modes come to the Mini drone. But for that to work in a reliable and safe way, you need obstacle avoidance. Remember, using your Mini 2 with a third-party app that provides waypoints and tracking means you are still risking your drone, as it will not see the tree or the cable coming. In third, with 12% of the vote, is more flight time. This seems to be something we all expect with a new launch. Certainly, other releases like the DJI Mini 2 and the Mavic 3 gained substantial bumps in flight time over their predecessor, but unless there's been a secret leap in battery technology, it is probably a good thing that more flight time seems at the bottom of the wish list, because other added tech likely, such as an upgraded camera and obstacle avoidance, means a heavier battery is unlikely to be included if DJI want to keep the drone under 250 grams. We could see more flight time through design changes. The Mavic 3 design is as much to credit for its impressive battery life as the new batteries are, with the almost bug-looking form factor providing an easier aerodynamic flow when on the move, hence less battery power being used. Along with these options, we also provided the option to comment below to tell us what you want to see in the DJI Mini 3 spec list. Let's have a quick look at some of those comments. First up, and Bruce from XJet says, ditch the geofencing. This is repeated by a couple of other commenters. Sadly, with upcoming regulations, drone manufacturers probably won't really have much choice on this area, and geofencing, especially on DJI products, is certainly here to stay, certainly using it in its factory form. Christopher Siska makes an interesting comment: add a thermal camera option. Of course, it will cost more. This is interesting because it is something I've heard a lot over the past months. It surprises me a little bit. People seem very keen to have a mini-sized thermal option. Certainly, as Christopher states, it would cost more and would certainly take it over the 250 gram weight, but it seems there is some appetite there. Lots of commenters are reinforcing the desire to see an upgrade to the camera with a better sensor. Long-term viewer and someone who is very interested in the DJI Mini releases, Ashik-E Razul, would like to see a dual camera sensor and 180-degree obstacle avoidance. Pretty popular choices there. Our final audience vote talked about the price, and with the somewhat expensive Autel Nano Plus prices, it will be interesting to see how DJI decide to price a Mini 3. Could this drive a launch of different models to cover the SE, Standard and Pro desires of the drone buying world? Certainly, as you might expect, the cheaper price, the higher the votes here, with somewhere around the existing Mini 2 price being the most popular vote. Now, in my opinion, the prices will probably be a little to a lot higher than most people are hoping, but that's just based on speculation. It seems the most important things that DJI need to include in a Mini 3 are an upgraded camera and obstacle avoidance. Will we see this in the next Mini drone? In my opinion, I think this wish list is pretty safe, and most people will be getting the DJI Mini 3 they're expecting in 2022. It remains to be seen if DJI can pull something new out of the bag and take the smallest, most capable drone series in the world to new directions. There is, of course, the question of whether or not you need a new drone. Just because Ford or Mercedes update their models every year or so, it doesn't mean we all dash out to buy the latest model. I do see a lot of sense in this thought process, and certainly even the DJI Mini SE offers a lot of drone for a very small price. But for me, the Mini 3 probably will be the drone to own in 2022 because it will push the specifications forward in a fairly substantial way. I would give the example of the DJI Mavic Air 2. It seemed like a perfectly capable drone with a good camera, decent flight time and lots of specs. So when the DJI Air 2S was launched fairly quickly afterwards, it left some wondering if it could possibly bring enough of a spec uplift to warrant the upgrade. Well, you fast forward to now and the Air 2S is many drone operators' go-to drone, and a lot of YouTube creators name it as the drone to own right now. I think the same will happen with the Mini 3. I think it will deliver on the specifications people want and possibly have a few extra tricks under the hood to really separate it from the DJI Mini 2. As with every other recent DJI launch, we will keep you fully up to date with the rumours, leaks and all those sumptuous early picks here on Geeksvana. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button to get those updates first. Sean out.